So not only are mermaids real, but the wealthy are serving them as the main dish at their parties. I just got an email from someone that's been to one of those parties, allegedly. I'm still sick, so just deal with it. This entire email came about from the viral video that's going around right now about the guy that had just gotten out of prison and he was needing to make some money. So he joined up with like this fisherman crew to go out and catch exotic fish for a ton of money. He thought it was just going to be big, rare fish. Turns out, no, it was mermaids. Apparently, they go out, catch these mermaids, sell them to the wealthy, and then the wealthy serve them at dinner parties. Allegedly. I open my email and I get this email from the guy asking if I'd seen that video on my For You page because he wanted to keep his story private, but he figured since it was on everyone's For You page, he might as well tell it. That he had been living out in LA for a while. He'd made quite a few connections, that he'd been running around with the elite for about 6 or 7 months when he got this invitation in the mail. It was this ivory cardstock folded up. It had like this wax seal on it, but it didn't have a stamp. It was like hand delivered. And when he opened it, it was like, congratulations, you've been invited to this elite gathering, blah, 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 like all this fancy stuff. And he said it kind of read like that it was maybe going to have some kind of delicacy there that only super duper wealthy people could afford. So he was pretty excited to go. And when he got to the house, he said that he was stopped at the door. He had to sign an NDA. He had to leave his phone there, which he said was like typical for Hollywood parties. So he wasn't really thrown by that. He was ushered in, led to the dining room, and he said it was like this really long table, and on the other side of the table was just a wall of windows facing the ocean. There were about 25 people in there. He said there were some really like high noted, well-known people there, like a movie star. He said that she was really popular at the time. He said there was like this one executive, a producer, there was some government something there, but there were only like 25 people there. The amount of people that were there and then the quality of people, he said it really made him like second guess like why he was there, because they were all really out of his league. They all sat down. They all had like this small covered dish in front of them, but then there was this massive silver tray covered with it had 4 handles on it. He said he couldn't figure out like what in the hell could have been it. He's like, okay, shark or something, like what could it have been? He said it was about 5 feet long. The host stands, says, I would like to thank everyone for coming today. Lucky to experience such a delicacy, and this is a rarity that very few get to experience, like really like laying it on thick. Then 4 servers step forward. They all grab a handle and lift it up, and he said there's an audible gasp. Then in detail he goes on to describe what we would know as a mermaid. He described in pretty like graphic detail, but I'm not going to because I don't want the video to get taken down. So he's just looking at it like, what the hell? The entire time he's thinking, okay, this is something that they have like made to look like a mermaid. There's no way this is an actual mermaid. But then the servers step forward to prepare it, and that's when he realized that it actually was a mermaid. He said as each piece was presented to the people around the table, he could smell this woodsy floral scent. He said it was a smell he'd never smelled before. Everyone there seemed very excited to try it, and he could tell that some of them had already had it before. Like this wasn't their first time attending one of these parties. He's watching in horror as all the people are like eating this and acting like it's the best thing they've ever had in their life. He said out loud, "This is some kind of joke, right?" The host says, once you try a bite, you'll believe that it's real. He couldn't make himself do it. He pushed away from the table. He said out loud, "You guys are nuts. This is insane. If this is what this really is, like, I don't want any part of it." Everyone at the table just kind of laughs at him. So he leaves. He's walking through the house trying to find his way out. And he ends up back around the kitchen and he hears this bubbling sound. He said it resembled like what you would hear in an aquarium or something. He could see that this one door was like slightly ajar. He pushed it open, and there were tanks all in the room full of mermaids. Some of them were very aware that they were there, and then some kind of looked incoherent. He's standing there staring at them when the host walks up behind him and says, "Oh, you found the pantry." He turns around and says, "What is this? This is insane. This can't be actual mermaids, is it? Is it something that you're just like trying to make look like mermaids or something?" The host tells him, "Do you really think that I would have a mermaid party and not serve actual mermaids?" He was in shock. He just stared at the guy like, "I can't believe this is happening." And then he tells him that he was going to leave, that he didn't want any part of this. And he said, "Well, remember, you did sign an NDA, and it wouldn't matter anyway because no one will ever believe you." So what do we think? Do we believe him? Let me know in the comments.